Hello, May class, and welcome to your next science lesson. In the previous lesson, we were looking at using branching databases, and we were looking at using these to group our animals into or group our living things into specific groups, which then made it easier for scientists to compare new species to and to be able to group them correctly. So today we're going to carry on with a bit of our classification. And we will be looking at understanding that scientists are able to classify these living things by closely observing them. So we're going to look at how they closely observe them, and we're going to learn a little bit more about that today. So for centuries, that's a long, long time, scientists have used careful and detailed drawings to better understand living things. Now, the pictures that you can see on your screen are scientific drawings, and they are very, very old scientific drawings, but you can see if you look carefully at the one of the frog in the middle, it shows different parts of the frog, what they look like, and the same with the octopus or the squids on the other side and the plants on the left-hand side. So Charles Darwin was someone that was very much part of all of this. And he was an English scientist who was alive from 1809 to 1882. So give a quick guess of how old he is. He was a famous naturalist, and I want you to say that with me. Naturalist. Naturalist. And a naturalist is an expert in studying nature. He was a famous biologist. Say that with me. Biologist. Biologist. And a biologist is an expert in living things and biology. He was also a famous geologist. So say that with me. Geologist. Geologist. And a geologist is an expert in rocks and fossils. He was good at chemistry at school, and this earned him the nickname Gas. And between 2000 and 2017, a portrait of Darwin was featured on the British £10 note. So you can see he's actually really important to history all around the world, but also very important because he was an English scientist. On the 12th of February 1909, which was the 100th anniversary of Darwin's birth, there were large celebrations around the world to remember his contributions to science. So contributions being all the things that he has given science. So this gives you a little bit of an idea that actually he was a really important person, and he still is really important even today. So the detailed drawings by naturalist Charles Darwin helped us to better understand living things from around the world. You can see on the right-hand side of your screen, you've got a moth of some kind, or a butterfly. I think it's a moth. And on the left-hand side, you've got what looks like different types of beetles, but they are very specific and very detailed, these drawings. That's what I want you to pause and have a look at how detailed these drawings are. So, Levan Bis is someone that's still quite important today. I want you to think back to how Charles Darwin used to draw these. These were hand-drawn, detailed pictures of different living things from around the world. Now, a man named Levan Bis has made things a bit more detailed. So he is a British photographer who was born in London. And based in his countryside studio in the UK, Bis's passion for nature and photography have come together to create something called a micro sculpture. So say that with me. Macro sculpture. Macro sculpture. So his unique photographic process involves thousands of images using multiple lighting setups to create the final insect portraits. So that gives you a bit of an idea of what he actually takes pictures of. He is an insect portrait photographer. Each specimen, so each type of insect, has been mounted on an adapted microscope stage, allowing close control over the position of the specimen in front of the camera lens. So it means it's been mounted so that it can be moved around to make sure it gets the correct position, or when in front of the camera. So most insects were photographed in about 30 sections. Each section has been lit differently with strobe lighting to show every possible detail of this insect. So we will be looking at these, but that's the important thing to see, is that the way it's been photographed means that every detail of the insect can be seen. Each insect portrait is created from over 8,000 separate images. So he's taken 8,000 pictures of the same bug, put it all together so that we have a very detailed image in front of us. So although sketches and notes are still made by scientists, the artist or the photographer Levon Bess is using a more modern approach for capturing the detail of some beautiful invertebrates. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share with you the website that is linked on there, just so you can have a bit of a look around for yourself. Sorry, that's the wrong. What I would like you to do, so obviously I'm going to go through it with you, but click on this link, and then once you click on the link, it is below in the task, in the tool, in the description underneath this video. There's a 5-minute video that allows you to watch Levon Bess and his impressive work and how he does what he does. So have a click on that and give it a watch. And then the explore button at the top will take you to Levon's portfolio. So portfolio is a collection of all his work, of all the insects he has closely observed. And have a go yourself. So I will do one with you. You're able to click on these links and the insect to find out more about it. So we will be looking at that. This is an example of how it comes up. And this is a dual longhorned beetle. So that's looking at it from the side. You're able to see how long the insect is. You're able to zoom into it. You can zoom out. And the bit at the top kind of tells you how much of it you're seeing. You're able to explore other insects. So you can click left or right and have a look at some of the other insects as well. So I'm going to stop sharing this. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about I'm going to work through the website with you. So this is where it would take you. So we go to the home page and it says microsculpture, and you would click on that to watch the 5-minute film about what he does. Once you've finished that, you can click on explore. And it takes you to this page here. And this page shows you all the different insects he has photographed. So you've got the name that you may know it by. So for example, this says blowfly. And then underneath, you have got the scientific name for it and I think the classification of it as well. So let's choose one that looks interesting. I think the branch-backed tree hopper looks interesting. So let's click on that. So this is obviously a look at it from the outside. And then what you can do is you can zoom in to look at all the tiny details on the insect. And as you can see, as I zoom in, it gets clearer and clearer. And you can actually see very close up the detail in this insect. Even with the little patterns, that you can see on his eye, or the little hairs that come out from its body. You can just click left or right to take you to another beetle. So now this is a Darkling Beetle. If we zoom into this, we can zoom right in and see all the small details on the bug itself. You can see that there's a little bit of texture on the body, but on the head it's got a little bit of bumps, but actually it's very smooth. We can see it's got the antennae. You can see the little texture on the antennae, the little pinches over there. So you can kind of go through and see more of these beetles. Let's do one more. The ground beetle. This one's quite cool. If you look from the outside, you can see it's quite an interesting beetle, but as we zoom in, you can see that it's got a shiny shell. If you look on the side, we've got tiny, tiny hairs on the sides here. You can look at the detail on the shell. We zoom up, you can see there are its eyes on the side. So its eyes on the side, not in the front. You can see what the front looks like. So they're very, very interesting. If I zoom out a little bit, you can see the antenna, and if we zoom into them, you can see that actually they've got quite a bit of small hairs on them, very, very small hairs right on them. And you can just carry on going through and having a look at these. So once you've had a look at the website and you've had a close look at some of these insects, these are the 3 tasks I would like you to complete today. The first one is to create your own drawing of an insect of your choice. You can draw an insect that you've seen from the website, or take a picture of one in your local area and use that picture to help you draw it. Add some color to your drawing. What effect does this have on your drawing? So if you remember the pictures, you've got the shade of the shading in the beetles, with the beetle that we looked at with the shiny shell. How does that make a difference? And then create a classification key to identify 6 insects that you know. Make sure you think about the features of each insect, what makes them different to one another. If we were to think back to the different types of bugs, you could make a classification key for one bug that may fit another one. So think about 6 insects that could fit into a classification key. And think about, like we said, when we're looking at Lev von Biss's pictures, what classifies them into different things? How does this insect look different to that insect? So remember, your classification key obviously helps you to identify the 6 insects. Don't forget to share this with us on Tapestry. I'm excited to see your drawings. Try and make them as detailed as possible. I'm excited to see your classification keys. So don't forget to add a bit of color to your drawing as well. So make sure that you complete the 3 tasks that have been given to you and upload them onto Tapestry by 4 p.m. this afternoon, please.